Hello everyone, it's Brian, and this is yet another video about favorite 12-inch singles from my collection, and maybe this will be the last one. I hate to do too many videos on one topic for fear of boring people, including me, so this might be the last one. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I just chose 5 more that I will talk about briefly, and the first one is, well, let's just take a moment to appreciate this cover. If you've never seen this before, I mean, there's doll heads parts here. Some are impaled. Some look like they're filthy or rotting in someone's garden. Very interesting garden. Here's the back. This is Wall of Voodoo, and this is a 12-inch single called 2 Songs from Wall of Voodoo. So in fact, there are 2 songs, but there's 2 versions of one song. So after getting past this somewhat distressing cover... By the way, this is the version of Wall of Voodoo with Stan Ridgway. As soon as he left, I completely lost interest. I mean, it was okay, but I kind of lost interest. And so side 1 has Mexican Radio. Side 2 is just credited to There's Nothing on This Side, but in fact, it's split into 2. It says it's 10 minutes. Part of that is, I guess, a track called There's Nothing on the Side, which is epic. It's a great track. And the second thing is a limited edition special dub mix of Mexican Radio. This, of course, is on IRS, so this is the album version of Mexican Radio, and the flip side has this thing saying There's Nothing on the Side, but in fact, you will see there's actually 2 tracks here, including the dub mix of Mexican Radio, which is pretty cool, I have to say. And I loved, I only really kept track of Stan Ridgway's solo career up until, I think, the 3rd record, and then I don't know what he's done after that. Of course, that track, Mexican Radio, comes from Call of the West, which is a good record, as is their first one. And then, you know, they changed singers, and I kind of checked out. But Stanard Ridgway, as he was known then. Second one is from 9 Inch Nails, and this is a 12-inch single called Sin. On the side it says Halo 4, 9 Inch Nails, Sin, long dub and short. So there are 3 versions of Sin on here. And then there's an extra track called Get Down, Make Love, which is the cover of the Queen track, Get Down, Make Love, which I think is a pretty effective cover version. This came out in 1990. Of course, Sin originally appeared on Pretty Hate Machine from 1989, which is great. It's a great record. And then this came out in the following year. So on this side, we have 2 versions of Sin, and the other version, and Get Down, Make Love, is on side 2. And that's a pretty good track. I didn't choose these based on value or anything. I chose them based on ones that I like. So honestly, I didn't look up how much these things are worth or not worth in any of these videos. I don't really know if they are. I know this one definitely is not worth any money at all, because I think it's quite common, but I really like it. It's from a band called Rational Youth, and the track is Saturdays in Silesia. I mentioned this band very recently in response to Chris Proffi's thread about 5 cool instrumental tracks, or 5 favorite instrumental tracks. I picked a different song from this band, from the same record though. This is the 45 RPM extended version. Side 2, this is, I should have mentioned, this is a band from Montreal. They're a Canadian synth pop band who are heavily influenced by Kraftwerk. And the side B is Pile ou Face, Heads or Tails. And it comes from this record called Cold War Nightlife, which I would argue is the greatest synth pop record ever to come out of Canada. That's my argument. If you can prove me wrong, go ahead. This is a fantastic record, and it has some really excellent synthy sounds, and of course it has Saturdays in Silesia. The Saturdays in Silesia is a full-on sort of dance synth pop song, but the rest of the album isn't necessarily like that. I think this is really great. I saw them in concert around the time that this came out, 1982. There's side 2, Pile ou Face, Saturdays in Silesia. Really cool band. I would go beyond that. I would say not only the best synth pop album to come out of Canada, maybe the best synth pop band. How's that for being brave? Maybe. Number 4, I have chosen this 12-inch single by Joy Division called Atmosphere. This is a UK pressing. Side 2 is She's Lost Control, which is a really cool track. And of course, this was a single, so it didn't appear on one of the first two records, but it did show up on this comp called Substance, 1977 to 1980. And this is a 1988 Factory Records pressing. Well, it actually was pressed in Canada, so this is a Canadian version of that album. And these labels just had this really interesting inner sleeve. But Atmosphere, yeah, great atmospheric track. And here it is. Nice factory labels. Atmosphere. She's Lost Control. Fantastic. And then I'm going to end with a really bizarre 12-inch single from, well, let me show you it first, if you know what it is. Some of you may know this. There was an alternate cover in which the colors were reversed, so it was a green cross on a red background. I don't know which one came first, or maybe they came at the same time. This is from 1983, and it's from a band called Wire. So here we have Wire. There are 3 tracks on here. The first one is Crazy About Love, and that is a very strange track. Well, weirdly, the last real album this band did was, I think, in 1979. There was that thing that came out in 81, which was Documents and Eyewitnesses, but the last album they did was in 1979, 154, and then they didn't do anything else until like 1987. So this came out in 83, kind of in the break period. And Crazy About Love is this really weird, it's over 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes long. It's even hard to describe. I can't really describe what it sounds like. Not everyone loves it. It seems like it might have been improvised. I don't know if that's true, but it has a really interesting sound to it. So there it is. It takes the entire side, 15 minutes and 43 seconds. Side 2 has something called Second Length, subtitled Our Swimmer, which is, I guess, maybe almost a proto-industrial track, which is really cool. And then Catapult 30, which is also really excellent. So this is a very strange release. They weren't known at this point for making long tracks. And they come here with this almost 16-minute track, which is a little unexpected. And it's also weird that it came at a time when they didn't really seem to be doing anything. So very odd, but I do enjoy that track under certain circumstances. All right, so that's, 5 more 12-inch singles. I may do one more. We'll see how it goes if I feel inspired. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.